walk the boards of the town of Liberty to hunt down the fearsome halfling Black Hat gang and their troll leader, Blackbone Lee, before they burn the town to the ground. Hi gamers, today we have a bit of a special video, a preview of the new 4 Against Darkness card deck, the good, the bad and the troll. For those who haven't yet come across card decks before for 4 Against Darkness, I have another video linked here and below that details how they work. But in short, they offer everything, including dice rolls for you to play 4 Against Darkness on the go, or just to add a bit of interest into your games. This includes new tiles, enemies, bosses, treasures and special treasures. They're all themed and come with a specific thing in mind, an area for Nordenau itself. This one in particular is based upon a Western theme. Specifically, it's in a town called Liberty, although this is specifically in the Dust Bowls of An-Nur. You can find a map, actually I'll link it down below and show you on screen in regards to how the world of Nordenau works. Specifically, I just highlighted there the Dust Bowls area, and as a result this seems like a great idea for a Western adventure. So I came up with a bit of a plan and then put this card deck together. It has actually been a very long time since I put this deck together originally. It's gone through a lot of different instances and designs. I'll show you the first instance on screen here. Actually, I'll show you the second one as well. These two are both center-lined villages. So as you can imagine, a proper Western town is normally in one specific route. It just has a line of buildings on each side. And so I really fell into that idea and really worked that quite well into the story and the cards. However, it just wasn't particularly fun, and as a result we've changed it up slightly. So this is a new updated image that you've seen on the screen here. This was the last playtest before it went to print, and as you can see it's far more interesting now. Although if you really did want to, you could make it a straight design like the previous examples that I came up with. However, generally speaking, it works exactly the same as any other card game for 4 Against Darkness, and you can use it exactly the same. Now, there is a Western theme to this, obviously, however, it's not too strong. So the idea here is that you are coming across this dwarven mining town, and it's been taken over by a gang of halflings with a fearsome troll as the leader. You have to essentially clear up the town, make sure everything's safe, and then you can move on with your day. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of loot as you do that. There is a particular rule, a new specific rule here, that marching order is irrelevant, and range attacks can be used like normal attacks in combat rounds. So in 4 Against Darkness as a whole, you're only allowed to use ranged attacks initially when you first come into a contact with an enemy. However, in this game, you can use it at any time. In fact, the idea here is that you should be doing that more often than not. So as I said, in regards to that Western theme, the original idea was to have everyone walking around with blunderbusses, fighting from ranged instances. However, that just didn't work out. It wasn't particularly fun. However, we did think that using ranged attack weapons were a really strong way of coming across this card deck. So I would strongly suggest anyone to come in with a ranged weapon. As it happens, because there are some modifiers here, any characters with ranged weapons actually get a half level save to add to any saves, and they can even stack as well. Spellcasters add an additional +1 to attacks, so there's definitely a reason to use ranged attacks. I won't go into too much detail in regards to enemies as well, but there are definitely instances where you will be required to, or almost required to, use ranged attacks, so I would strongly suggest that. Everything in the game itself is of course themed to this Western theme, but it's not too strong, so it still fits into the idea of Nordenau 4 Against Darkness as a whole. However, if you really did want to take that away and essentially go full-on Western, by all means you could. As I said previously, you can change the design of the tiles slightly so they're all straight, and then in addition to that you would essentially replace anything like bows and arrows and slings with a gun, just in order to make sure it was a bit more Western themed as such. There's a bunch of new enemies, of course, as I said previously. It's a dwarven town originally, so there are dwarves here, there are minions, there are trolls. There's a few weird monsters that are specific to Western adventures, and if anyone's aware of any Western myths, they should be in there as well, so hopefully you'll be able to find some of them. And then there's also a bunch of treasures that are really specific to this area. Now, talking about one of those treasures, there are magic items. I would strongly suggest you keep your eye out for the magic items in the game, because there are some uses beyond just selling them. You can actually use them within the game itself, and some of them will get permanent boosts to things like discounts in stores. So it's definitely worthwhile picking up some of these magic items if you have the ability to. Hopefully that gives you a bit of an overview of the game itself, and hopefully you'll look forward to playing it. It's out very soon. It should be out on Friday the 28th. So I hope you all enjoy. Thank you.